All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Fishbein, and I am the training coordinator at AceNet, located at Memorial University in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. AceNet is the Atlantic Regional Consortium for Compute Canada, soon to be the Digital Research Alliance of Canada. I have been a Carpentries instructor for almost 2 years now, and I have recently become a Carpentries Instructor Trainer. I will explain a little bit more about what those roles mean a little later in this presentation. So this session is an introduction to the Carpentries. We will start by discussing what the Carpentries is all about and the culture of the community. Next, we will help you navigate the website to find what it is that you're looking for. Lastly, we'll chat about the different ways that you can get involved with the Carpentries community as a participant, community member, instructor, and helper. We will not be discussing the details on the funding model or membership program within the Carpentries. If you're interested in more information on these topics, you can find it as well as contact information to get your questions answered on the Carpentries website. All right, I'd like to begin by directing you to the Carpentries mission statement. So the Carpentries mission is as follows: to build capacity in essential data and computational skills for conducting efficient, open, and reproducible research, to train and foster an active, inclusive, diverse community of learners and instructors that promotes and models the importance of software and data in research, to collaborate in developing openly available lessons and deliver these lessons using evidence-based teaching practices. We focus on people, conducting, and supporting research. So I first found out about the Carpentries in the interview for the job that I currently have with AceNet as a training coordinator. What drew me to the Carpentries was the like-mindedness of all those involved. This like-mindedness is entrenched in the Carpentries community. I quickly found that people that I meet here have similar goals to myself when it comes to teaching coding to novice learners. The first is how important it is to create a comfortable learning environment, especially when people are learning a topic that they may likely find intimidating. The second has to do with accessibility and awareness. We are eager to spread the knowledge of the existence of openly available lessons that anybody can partake in. As instructors, we aim to meet people where they are in their learning experience and offer them guidance and support from there. The third is the interactive nature of the lessons and enthusiasm of the instructors to make sure that participants are following along by requesting feedback often and matching the pace of the lesson to the learners. My favorite thing about the Carpentries is that the foundation is based on community and pedagogy. There's a strong emphasis in not only what is being taught, but how it is being taught. This is evident in the Instructor Training workshop, in which the curriculum focuses on pedagogy and outlines expectations for how a Carpentries workshop should be taught. A little bit about the history. The Carpentries was founded beginning with software carpentry in 1998 by Greg Wilson and Brent Gorda, with the intention of teaching researchers software development skills. Data carpentry and library carpentry lesson streams arrived in 2014 and 2018, respectively. We'll discuss the difference between those shortly. So there are many lessons available through the Carpentries website. You can see the three different streams here. All lessons are open source and may be used as long as credit is given to the Carpentries. There's a note under this page here, the About and About Us, for how you can actually reference the Carpentries material. So these lessons are publicly maintained with contributions from throughout the community, with individuals overseeing each lesson. By the nature of community contribution, they stay up to date and improve regularly. So there are three different branches of lessons. The most commonly known lessons are the software carpentry lessons. The software carpentry lessons are likely the most relevant to most people beginning to learn coding and new to the Carpentries. These lessons are designed to be relevant to the field that you work in and are great for those learning to code and want to develop best practices and or become introduced to a new coding language. If you scroll down, you can see the lessons that are available for the software carpentry stream. The data carpentry lessons often have examples in a specific field. So for example, in ecology, there are lessons in the programming language R and Python. Data carpentry lessons focus on data organization, data cleanup, and analysis and visualization. And there's the aforementioned ecology lessons, R and Python. view other examples below. And then last but certainly not least, the library carpentry lessons are specifically relevant but not limited to those working in library and information related positions. These lessons aim to apply concepts of software development and data science to the context of the libraries. And you can see the lessons listed below. Okay, so to give you a little bit of an example of one of the lessons here and how it's broken down, we're going to go back to the software carpentry lessons. And in this, we're going to scroll down to likely the most common one to begin with, and that is the Unix shell lesson right here. So you can see a couple different icons here. Each have links in order to sort of dive further in, depending on what you're looking for. But we're just going to click on the site, so a little image of a window, and it's going to open up a new tab for us. And this is here the Unix shell lesson. So it gives us a little overview of what the lesson is, the prerequisites that are required, and then a sort of timeline version of the different lessons that exist within this overall lesson. It'll always start with a setup page. So if I click the link to the setup page, it'll tell me what I need in order to start moving through this lesson. So usually, but not in all cases, you're required to download files so that we can work with data as we practice the different tools. So in this case, there is a shell lesson data zip file that you'll need to download before the lesson. Additionally, there's often software that you need to install. With that, it'll show you how to install said software for your operating system. So it'll show for Windows, it'll show for Mac, and it'll show for Linux. This is really, really valuable because people are often on very different systems according to their preference and want to make sure that everybody is covered and is ready to go. If I go back to the lessons, I can start walking through the different segments of the lesson here. So this first one is about introducing the shell, a little bit of an overview, some questions that we're going to answer in the lesson, and objectives that we want to reach by the end of this particular segment. I'll just scroll through for you so you can see most components of lessons will have a live coding part to it. This is really valuable for your participants to actually code along with you and learn in this capacity. These will be represented clearly with the input and output boxes in the setup of these lessons. Additionally, you'll find within lessons, if I scroll to the bottom of this second one, you'll find examples that are listed here too, with the solutions if you click down. So lots there that you can dive through. These lessons you can walk through and teach to yourself or apply to other people. Next, and lastly here, we're just going to talk a little bit about how to get involved with the Carpentries. So the Carpentries community is one in which you're guaranteed to meet some fantastic people. These people are often interested in supporting a collaborative environment in which to learn and share best practices in coding, programming, and software development. There are a number of ways in which you can get involved in the in the Carpentries community. The first is as an instructor. So if you're interested in getting involved as an instructor, you can go to Teach and become an instructor. Okay? And from here, you can apply to take the Instructor Training. The Instructor Training workshop is a 2 8-hour or 4 4-hour day workshop in which 2 trainers will instruct the pedagogy of the Carpentries. There are exercises in which you will be expected to practice teaching using the pedagogy that is taught, and they often include the live coding practice. You do not, however, need to become an instructor to help out with lessons. So the second way that you can get involved is as a helper. If you're interested in getting involved as a helper, you do not need to do this full workshop. As long as one person that's instructing the workshop has become certified as a Carpentries instructor, then that's enough for that workshop. Okay? Others involved do not need to have completed instructor training. However, it is important to note that helpers should understand their roles and responsibilities and operate following the pedagogy of the Carpentries. Another way that you can get involved is by contributing to the lesson development of the Carpentries. So lessons are maintained collaboratively through GitHub. If you have a suggestion for how a lesson can be improved, you can submit what's called, in GitHub lingo, a pull request. And this request will be assessed and applied as those maintaining the lesson see fit. Okay, this information can be found under Join Us and Help Develop Lessons. There's a lot more information there that you can dive into. And lastly here, if you're not quite ready to get involved as an instructor, helper, or a lesson developer, then we'd encourage you to get involved publicly through the community. So we have multiple ways in order to do this. We can scroll through this part of Join Us and get involved, or go back to the About Us page. And if you scroll down here, you'll find a number of links under Join Us for ways that you can get involved. You can communicate with the Carpentries through the Twitter. You can put your email in and request an invite to join the Slack channel, where there's lots of different communication from like-minded people. You can subscribe to the twice-monthly newsletter. You can follow the Facebook page and join some of the email lists. There's lots of different ways that you can become involved if this sounds like something that is interesting to you. So thank you for listening to this introduction to the Carpentries. We hope you found it useful and are excited to get involved with a great community of people helping people learn computational tools. Thanks.